Today it's known as the richest temple in the world, but until a few years ago, the Padmanabhaswamy temple was almost unknown outside India. What set off the chain of events that shot it to world fame? What are the other intriguing things about this temple? To start with, the temple is located in the coastal city of Trivandrum in the state of Kerala. It's a Vaishnavite temple where the main deity of the temple is Anantha Padmanabhaswamy. The temple is mentioned in ancient texts known as Puranas. The word Purana itself means old. Sangam literature from the 2nd century BC speaks of the temple as being encased in pure gold, with even the walls of the temple covered in gold. That means even 2000 years ago, the temple was acclaimed for its riches. The Gopuram or top of the temple consists of a tapering tower with 7 tiers, representing the 7 higher worlds. At the center of each tier is a window with another window exactly opposite it on the other side of the temple. It's been designed in such a way that only twice a year, during the equinoxes, sunlight comes streaming in through the middle of the top window all the way to the lowest one, with 5-minute intervals between each window. This attracts lots of devotees. Now the question is, how did the already super rich temple get to be the richest in the world? In 1750, the king of Travancore, Martandavarma, declared himself a servant of the temple deity, Lord Vishnu, and dedicated the entire kingdom of Travancore to the temple. At that time, the state of Kerala was famous for black pepper, which was worth its weight in gold, and often worth more than gold and coveted all over the world from Greece to the Middle East. So the king seized control of the highly lucrative black pepper trade, and a lot of this revenue was poured into this temple. Plus, donations to the temple by devotees have been going on for hundreds of years. The locals here always spoke of the fabulous wealth and gold hidden in the subterranean passages of the temple. A temple insider told the press that the Travancore kings bought countless copper pots full of gold coins and put them deep under the temple floor at the end of every year. He pointed out that this practice continued for centuries. A man named Sundarajan suspected that some of this gold was being siphoned off, so in 2007 he initiated a court case to take stock of the treasure. In 2011, the Supreme Court ruled in his favor, so officials threw open the vaults and their discoveries electrified the world. A 4-foot-tall, solid gold Vishnu idol studded with diamonds, rubies, and emeralds, hundreds and hundreds of pots of gold, an 18-foot-long pure gold chain, sacks and sacks of diamonds, rubies, emeralds, and pearls, a throne of pure gold 18 feet long full of precious stones, a Sri Krishna statue made of gold, 3 crowns studded with diamonds and rubies, and countless other riches. It took 6 whole months just to do the inventory. Other treasures were thousands of gold coins from India and distant lands, such as Venice, Rome, and France. These treasures are worth billions of dollars, and if you factor in the antique value, it might even amount to $1 trillion, according to some estimates. But out of the 6 vaults, only 5 were open. The officials dare not to open the main door of Vault B, so it still remains shut. Vault B was secured by an iron gate which officials opened, that led to a wooden door followed by another door. 2 giant cobra sculptures adorn this last door, as if to warn intruders. No latches, bolts, or keyholes are on this door, leaving the officials puzzled. It is this final door that the officials did not open. This picture is all over the internet, but it's highly unlikely that this is the actual picture of the door, since they do not look anything like cobras or nagas. In fact, they look more like western dragons and not the least bit like any Indian depictions of serpentine beings. Some have even edited this picture to add more Indian elements to it. We have no idea what the real door looks like, except that it has cobra images on it, and the pictures used here are for illustrative purposes only, and not the actual picture of the door. The cobras on the actual door are not just for decoration. Even the smallest elements of Hindu temples have enormous significance. Here, the door is cautioning you that a deadly Naga Bandhanam has been used. That means the only way to open the door is by using a specialized mantra, sort of like a password. To unlock it, a specific Garuda Mantra has to be chanted by a skilled monk. A Garuda is a mythical eagle-headed being, but the exact Garuda Mantra itself has been lost in time. Opening the door by any other means can unleash something as horrifying as a tsunami, according to the legends. So that's why this vault has remained closed for centuries. Not even the Travancore royal family, who are the temple administrators, know what's inside the vault. If you look online, you will find several Garuda mantras, though the one needed to unlock this door is not known. But when there are thousands of mantras, why specifically a Garuda mantra? Especially because Nagas and Garudas are deadly enemies in Hindu mythology. The Nagas feared no one except the Garudas. Let's look into the history of Bandhanams to find out more. In ancient India, when people went on pilgrimages that would take months, a huge challenge was how to keep their jewelry and gold safe when they were away for so long, especially as there were no banks in those days and simply locking it in their house was not safe. According to several tantrics, some people use bandhanams to protect their valuables. The word bandhanam means to bind or tie something. This technique is rooted in Tantra and therefore uses mantras. So they would bury their pot of gold or jewelry in the ground, and to prevent others from stealing it, they would put all kinds of bind on it using a mantra, sort of like spell binding. As an example, let's say a person buries a pot of gold and seals it with a scorpion bandhanam and then leaves town. Now, if a thief who knows the location of the gold tries to dig it up, dozens of scorpions would emerge from the spot instead of the treasure. Only the original owner who knows the counter mantra can unlock and uncover her jewelry. This is how bandhanams are supposed to work, according to modern tantrics. But honestly, it sounds more like fantasy. Vault B was sealed by Siddhas using an Naga Bandhanam during the reign of King Martandavarma. And considering there is not just one person's wealth but the treasure of an entire kingdom, the Bandhanam in the temple must be 1,000 times more powerful. Modern tantrics say that these siddhas likely spent decades studying Nada Yoga or the science of sound to be able to cast such a powerful bandhanam. According to the Vedas, the primordial sound or vibration that created the cosmos and permeates all of creation is called Nada Brahman and is the same frequency as Om. Nada Yoga merges the Vedic tradition of Shabda Brahman with the chakra systems of Tantra and the ragas of Indian music. The Nada Yogi focuses on sounds produced within the human body and aims to perceive through the Anahata chakra, the primordial sound Om. Such an erudite and accomplished sadhu can open the door effortlessly by chanting a specific Garuda Mantra, according to modern tantrics. But this highly secretive and esoteric science of bandhanams is mostly lost today as it was never written down but passed from guru to student, according to modern yogis. The word bandhanam is used probably because the mantra attracts these scorpions and binds them to a place, right until a counter mantra is uttered to repel these creatures. So in this context, it makes sense that a Garuda mantra is chanted to get rid of the cobras in the temple. Note that the cobras are never injured or killed as they are extremely sacred in Kerala. Are we dealing with some sort of knowledge that's been forgotten today? For example, if you bring some people from 1,000 years ago into our current timeline and put them in a modern mall with automatic glass doors, they'd probably think the doors are magic since they open and shut on their own. They'd be clueless about motion detecting technology. Similarly, is it possible that some sort of sound techniques or know-how existed in ancient days that we're not aware of today? Or is this all superstition? And has anyone tried to open the vaults in the past? According to Emily Gilchrist, who wrote the 1933 book Travancore, a guidebook for the visitor, an attempt was made in 1908. She wrote, "About 25 years ago, when the state needed additional money, it was thought expedient to open these chests and use the wealth they contained." She went on to write that a group of people got together and attempted to enter the vaults with torches. When they found them infested with cobras, they fled for their lives. She also mentions that in 1931, another attempt to open the vaults was made by cash-strapped Travancore kingdom, and that this time they broke open the door to one of the vaults and discovered 4 chests of gold, among other treasures. She felt that they were successful the second time round as they had the advantages of electric bulbs rather than oil lamps. There is no mention of cobras during the second attempt, but her book does not specify which vault was opened either time and whether the vault opened in 1931 was the same one as the 1908 vault. Anyway, coming back to the current situation. The temple priests and the Travancore royal family held a 4-day ceremony to find out what the deity of the temple wanted in regards to Wall B. It is an ancient ceremony called Ashtamangala Deva Prashnam, in which a small girl or boy acts on behalf of the gods. From the ritual, it was concluded that the deity did not want any further incursions into Wall B. Interestingly, many of the elderly residents there say that the door leads to a passage that goes deep into the ocean and that there is another doorway there. They say that opening the first door could force the second door open, causing the ocean water to rush in and flood the whole temple, and possibly the whole city. This belief is very strong among the locals, and they too have opposed the opening of the wall, and so it remains closed to this day. But this temple is not the only one in India with an ancient puzzle. These rock-cut caves named Son Bhandar or storehouse of gold are located in Rajgir or City of Kings in the state of Bihar. They date back to the Mauryan Empire from 319 to 180 BCE. The first cave is square-shaped and the second lies in ruins. At the entrance to the first cave are Jain figurines along with an inscription that declares that the cave was made by a Jain monk named Vairadeva for ascetics. But was it built just for holy men, or is there something more sinister and sadder to this story? In the 5th century BCE, King Bimbisara was an extremely powerful ruler and king of Magadha and had many wives. His son Ajatashatru seized the kingdom from him and threw him into prison. This much has been recorded in history and is a fact. Here's where the legend begins. Apparently, King Bimbisara's favorite wife Koshila knew that Ajatashatru was up to something. Before Ajatashatru could strike, she called a trusted confidant, a Jain monk named Vairadeva, and gave him all of her husband's riches to hide till they could retrieve it later. Vairadeva hid it in a secret passage in this cave. But neither Koshila nor Bimbisara ever saw their treasure again, as both of them died soon afterwards. It is said that Ajatashatru even tortured his father to reveal the location of the gold, but his father did not give up that secret. On the inside wall of the cave is what looks like a doorway along with another inscription. This second inscription is in an unknown language and is said to contain a code with which to open the door and reveal the treasure. Only a person who can read the language and speak the words correctly can unlock the door, legends say. No one knows the language, but that didn't stop people from trying. Local lore says that even the British tried to barrel their way in by using cannon fire, but it didn't work and instead destroyed the second cave. Now coming back to the earlier inscription about the Jain monk that is located outside the cave. The actual inscription reads, Muni Vairadeva, the jewel among the Acharyas and of great luster, caused to be made the two auspicious caves which are worthy of ascetics and in which were placed the images of arhats. Notice the use of words such as jewel and luster. Are they hinting at what lies within? Also, the interior of the cave is polished. Why would wandering monks care about whether the cave is polished or not, especially as it serves no practical purpose? Are all these things clues that a fabulous treasure awaits discovery? Could there be any truth to this legend? This seems similar to the fairy tale Ali Baba and the 40 Thieves, a hidden cave with fabulous treasure which can only be opened using specific words. The Padmanabhaswamy temple and the Son Bhandar caves are one of the many unsolved mysteries on earth today. Thanks for watching and please subscribe, share and like if you found this video informative.